Okay, so this is going to be a quick trade review for the day for December 10th, 2018. First off, we're looking at Cron. And right now we're in a pretty bearish market. If you look at the SPY, it's coming down. It was testing and pressing on new lows. We've been pretty choppy. It took a few days, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to climb up, and then 3 to come down and erase it. So this is today. So if we get rid of all this, coming into the day, we look like this. We bounced the other day here off of support, so we were pressing lows. Today, we were at the lows. We literally opened right here at the lows, and we got a little bit of a spike. So we were looking at Cron as a trade. So before today, it gapped up, touched 14, which was previous daily resistance, and it closed all the way down here beneath 13. There was pretty good buying support down here at 1236 and 1250. If we look at the intraday for the day before, looking at the 5-minute for the day when it gapped up, came up in the pre-market, touched the daily resistance at 1450, and it kind of just sold off for the day. Got a little bit of a spike and then came underneath the VWAP, never got above it before. We had a little bit of a pullback here during the pre-market spike. That was at 1250, and it respected 1250. In the morning, it tried to dump, but somebody came in and bought it right back up at 1236, and this ended up being the low of day. So it kind of channeled out here in between 1250, and you see it had pretty good selling resistance at 13. So we were just in between a channel here between 12 and 13. So this morning when I got up, I saw Cron was actually on the scanners for being up, not much, but just a little bit. It got up to 1375 without any news. The news was just a publication of why it was up so much the previous day. So coming into the open, you know, we're at 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning here. It was, oops, too far. It was opening back beneath the 13 level, and we knew previously the day before that it had a lot of resistance overhead. It had a lot of selling pressure at 13. We're in a red market. We're in a bear market, so we're looking to short this under 13. First target would have been 1250. Ultimate target would have been 12, because the daily chart on Cron looks something like this, where we're up here, we gapped up, we closed red, weakness. Opening under 13, which is this daily resistance, another sign of weakness. So the way that it played out, looking at a 1-minute chart, first entry on Cron coming up at 9:15. The first entry was right out of the gate, so I took it at 1293, which was the opening price. Took it short, held it for that first 1-minute candle, and covered at 1278. So that was a really good scalp. This 1-minute candle, the high was 1297. Now keep in mind, it was opening below the VWAP. It was opening below that $13 level. So we were very confident in shorting it. Now what changed my bias on this stock and why I covered at 1278 so quickly is as it got flushed down, saw a really big bidder at 1275. And we knew the previous day that somebody propped it up at 1230, 1236, and it never came back down there for the rest of the day. So with that big support at 1275, I actually just kind of sat out for a few minutes, and then as it got over 13, which was our line in the sand, the market was also green and over the VWAP. You see the market pivoted, came up over the VWAP, and was pushing. So this is the 933 candle. It looked like it wanted to go. And that's why I switched my bias on Cron to long, which was a big mistake. So I got in at 1305. Let's see, at the 933 candle, 931, 32, 33. The high of the candle was 1306. I got in here. At one point, I was up a little bit. I was up 10 cents. Didn't take it. The market was still going strong. Over 13. 13 was my line in the sand. It came back down. I bought more. It came back down and bought more. So I was at 936. And 939 I sold. 938, 939. So I didn't sell on this big flush candle. I waited for it to try to get back up, and at this point the market was going red. This was now under the VWAP, and it was more looking like the trade that I had planned to short it under 13 pre-market. So I actually ended up hitting my max loss here for the day, and I sat out for close to an hour, and then just watched the trade that I originally had planned out work in my favor, you know, from 13 to 1250. And the market was putting in new lows around this time. So I ended up taking Cron short, and it came back up and squeezed against me. It didn't quite break down. It's just channeling in between this 1236 level, where this low was, and 1250. So I still think it's weak. I still think it has room to the downside. But if you look at this chart compared to the SPY's chart, the SPY has just been getting destroyed. It's been putting in new lows ever since 10:20 to 11 o'clock. It's been putting in new lows. That's when I shorted Cron, right at when the market was coming back down under the VWAP, and I expected Cron to fall with it. So this went to about 1102 and then started to get bullish. Cron during this whole downward trend for the SPY was just consolidating flat. Here's 1020 to about 11, just absolutely flat. Whereas the SPY was just reaching for new lows, new lows, new lows. So it came back up, it tested the VWAP, came close to the previous day close, and kind of rejected, but I had my stop over all these humps right here. So I must have covered right here around 1110. Yeah, 1111. I covered at 61. So it was a really small loss. Started the short position at 940. Is that right? 939. Oh no. These aren't in order right now. One second. Started short at 940. Well, I was short at 1286, 750 shares. The heck? Oh no, that was me selling my position. So I got short at 1020. Sorry. 1020 when the SPY was getting rejected. And you know, at one point it got to 1234. So I was up 25 cents at one point. I don't know. Either way, the scalp worked out. I changed my bias. I should have kept my bias short under 13 based on the daily chart. I tried to go long because I saw some big buying support, and it ended up not working. So this is the end of the day for Monday the 10th, and I'll be back tomorrow at 9:15 a.m. to do more trading. All right.